Lauren Matsumoto is the Hawaii House Republican leader joining us. Diamond Garcia is a Hawaii state representative, both joining us this morning. I want to say thank you. I know it is early for you to get up and to speak with us this morning. Very important, though, for others of the American people to understand exactly what is happening here. Lauren, if I could start with you, just an update this morning for those watching. Do you have one in terms of what is happening there in Maui, in Lahaina?
As was mentioned, there's 115 that are dead and 850 to 1,000 that are still missing, and just really that we're focused completely on the relief efforts still. They haven't even finished searching the area, and so that's the forefront and the focus that we're looking at right now.
It's just the beginning when it comes to trying to rebuild a beautiful community. Diamond, there's a new report out that I had to ask you about. The Associated Press reporting some troubling new findings. This is, again, we're going back in time about 2 weeks ago when the fire was spreading rapidly, and they're reporting that there were barricades blocking access to Highway 30. Again, this is according to AP sources. One family swerving around the barricade and was safe in a nearby town 48 minutes later. Another drove their four-wheel drive car down a dirt road to escape. But again, if you were following the direction of these barricades, maybe your family wasn't as lucky. Is there truth to this report? What have you heard?
Yes, from what I heard on the ground and from those who lived through that tragic day was that they were ushered down to one street to exit Lahaina, and unfortunately, there were police officers who were blocking it, hence the reason why so many cars were stopped. And in gridlock on that one street. So you see the photos and video footage now, you see cars lined up because they were bottlenecked into one area. So this is why our House Republican caucus has called for the legislature to open up a separate investigation so we can get to the bottom, to the truth, because the people of Lahaina deserve the truth. We need to know exactly what happened that day because there were so many things that don't add up, that don't make sense, and we need to have answers. With over 1,000 people still unaccounted for, we need to have answers.
I'll pose that same one, Lauren, to you. Do you agree there with the State Rep Diamond Garcia on that? Are there more answers as well? Maybe something, maybe more that needs to be looked at, in your opinion?
Absolutely, and that's why our Republican caucus sent a memo to the Speaker of the House, really to look into what's happening here. With the amount that are missing and dead, there has to be things that we could have done better, and making sure that we have that investigative committee to make sure we're looking into each and every.
Diamond, there was a lot of discussion about the decision not to ring the emergency alarm at the time when the wildfires were spreading. Looking back on that, of course, knowing what we know now, was that a mistake that officials did not sound the emergency alarm, despite it typically being used to warn residents of tsunamis?
100%. Everybody who made it out by the grace of God that day says if people had just known something was happening, they would have had time to escape. I mean, that could have, not saying that would have saved everyone, but that could have given people a chance to look outside and know what was going on. When you look at the Hawaii Emergency Management website, one of the conditions of using those alarm systems is wildfires. So the excuse that that gentleman Amada made, and we normally use those for tsunamis, that was reprehensible. People are dead, children are dead, and that was a mistake, 100%.
Diamond, what message would you like to send to the President of the United States?
Get off your high horse, sir. What an embarrassment. People have lost everything here in Hawaii, in Lahaina. There's nothing left, and he comes here and jokes about a kitchen fire, talking about his 67 Corvette. What an embarrassment and an insult to the people of Hawaii.
We'll leave it right there. We appreciate that again, the time that is taken by both of you this morning. Again, we know it's early, but important to get the message out from you who is there. Our thoughts, our prayers are with you, with your loved ones, with your friends, with your community. Hawaii House Republican leader Lauren Matsumoto, Hawaii State Representative Diamond Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what brought me out.
Wow. So how old are you now?
19.
19 years old. So with this newfound relationship with Jesus, and this is amazing. What have you been doing with it? How
Well,
has it taken you around? I've heard you've traveled around the world.
Since 12 years old, I began speaking and sharing my faith and how God has brought me out of darkness into His light. And, you know, the word spreads quickly, and so I found myself traveling to countries all over the world, sharing my faith. I'm involved in evangelism, worked with many various ministries across America, across the world. And, you know, when I look back at my life, I said, man, if it wasn't for that one book, I would have been homeless on the streets like all my siblings are. But it was Jesus, and you know, and I look where I am now. I mean, it's amazing to see how God has brought me this far. But yeah.
Well, you know, it speaks a great thing to me that I see in this. You know, we're moving into an age of just so much the iPhones, the little gadgets, and the media. You know, everything from YouTube to whatever, the games and stuff like that, it's just sucked the people in. So when I think of a book, it's kind of like the books are phasing out, guys. The movies are in. You gotta, if you want to witness to kids, you gotta go with these other gadgets. But that wasn't the case with you. So,
No.
because a lot of my family are still involved in literature evangelism.
And I totally support it, and